Richard, is a pragmatic rethink needed?
Well, look, the reality is that both of the main parties, and therefore over 80% of voters, voted for the manifestos, which was to leave the single market and the customs union. You know, that's the reality. Nothing's changed. I think what's changed is I think the voters have actually said, look, we're less interested in sort of the technical language like that. Can you just get on with it, please, and organise a special deal? And can you double and treble check that, you're adopting the right approach? I think, from what James says, the reality is that both sides want to get on with it. The EU wants to get on with it. Businesses in the UK want some more certainty and to get on with it. And in a sense, what we're saying at our campaign group is that one should accelerate the negotiating timetable. We need to reach heads of terms, frankly, by the end of this year. Once you've reached an agreement for the heads of terms, then you can put it in the lawyers' hands. Then everybody knows where they stand. And if necessary, there may be some form of transition deal. But clearly, what's changed is the parliamentary arithmetic and the ability of Parliament, House of Commons and House of Lords to mischief make if the Tories are not consensual in their approach.
James, you've got some new findings on recruitment. What have you found out?
Yeah, we asked 2,000 employers in the run-up to the general election across all regions and all sectors across the UK how confident they were feeling about employing people in the next quarter. And they were very positive still, and they remain very positive across most sectors, even in this world of uncertainty. But they are saying, go for it. They are saying the simple truth is that they are very concerned about a hard Brexit and what that means if we shut the door on free movement of labour and the hundreds of thousands of jobs that are going to need to be created across the economy to be able to maintain that confidence in hiring.
Richard, businesses are a little worried about a hard Brexit. What does a hard Brexit mean to you?
I think again, one's got to get away from this slightly emotive language, which actually is unhelpful. And I think the voters have told everybody that it's unhelpful. We want a special Brexit deal for Britain. That's what we want. And that's what it's a much more sort of positive, focused word. What I would say about the immigration point is no one's saying we're going to shut the door. No one's ever said that from the Tory party or from the Leave campaign. All we're saying is we want to be in control of our own numbers. It's important just to remember that the average immigration in the 1990s was just over 60,000 a year. Actually, businesses worked rather well, the public sector worked rather well, and people received higher wage growth per annum than they're currently receiving. So you don't need 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 people coming in a year to run a very successful economy.
James is shaking his head.
I don't disagree with those facts back then. The difference now is we have the lowest unemployment that we've ever had in 40 years. It may be surprising to know that we had 80,000 Bulgarians and Romanians came to the UK jobs market in the last year, and in fact the increase in UK-born workers gaining jobs didn't increase at all. So I don't. This isn't about immigration. It's about just being able to service the need of the economy.
But the more labour you have, the less incentive there is for business to invest in capital equipment. And, if you have an infinite supply of labour, you get zero wage growth. And that's what we've had for the last 10 years. And that's why people are struggling so much. That's why so many people are only just about managing. If we had lower immigration, then wage growth would rise, people would feel better off. And actually, the economy needs a bit of a dose of inflation. That's what the economy needs. That's what wages need. And if you just have continuing unlimited immigration, then no one's going to make any progress at all.
I mean, wouldn't it also, has to be argued, James, force companies to be more productive? Because one of the big problems of the UK economy is the low productivity. If you force the price of labour up, then you have to force the productivity of that labour up as well.
I don't disagree with the argument. I think it's perfectly logical. I think the operating reality of that is at the speed of which we can coordinate it. So if we had it's the speeds at which we can operate, catching up with technology, being more productive, having people. For us, it's about how pragmatic can we be rather than this black and white. It's going to be one thing or another. So it's about how do we control it, but how do we also encourage it and have training of the workforce? How do we encourage upskilling of our own workforce? But the reality is, it's just it's the speeds of which this is all going to happen. And at the moment, we're not getting confidence as employers that the government is thinking about this from a open-minded perspective.
Richard, just before we go, never mind hard or soft, what would be the one thing you want at the top of the list of when we're negotiating to leave the European Union? What's the one thing you need to see achieved?
Control of laws, trade and borders, and we've got to get on with it.